of interest in fights.
Motors. And in all the years I've been in the sport,
Oscar De La Hoya have been exchanging friendly, reconciliatory messages for months. So just to confirm in the most graphic possible way that a diplomatic thaw between the top two boxing promoters is officially underway, we asked Bob and Oscar to appear together before our cameras. And here they are. De La Hoya from Los Angeles, Arum from Las Vegas. Gentlemen, thank you both for taking the time.
thank you for having us, Jim.
Oscar, I'll start with you. The irony, of course, is that you became a ring legend in professional boxing while promoted by Bob Arum and fighting over and over against the best opponents available, regardless of who promoted them, regardless of whether you were favored in the fight. Is that the kind of competition fans can now look for in this new environment?
Well, obviously, that's the mission. That's the objective of meeting Bob and having this open dialogue with Bob. I love the fact that I was able to fight the very best and go up against the toughest challenge. And I believe that it's up to the promoters, Golden Boy and Top Rank, to make sure that we continue that tradition with the best fighting the best, because my philosophy has always been in order to satisfy the millions of fans who love boxing, we must set our egos aside and make these big fights happen.
So do you agree, Bob? And does this mean that your top fighters, like Manny Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley, will be free to compete against Golden Boy promoted fighters?
I couldn't agree more with Oscar. It's really been a travesty for boxing that the best don't fight the best. In what other sport does this happen? Only in boxing, if there are wars between promoters. And in all the years I've been in the sport, which is 50 years, I've never seen anything like when a major promotion company says they won't deal with another company. That's idiocy, but that's been the case for the last 3 or 4 years.
So what fights come to mind, Bob, as you consider what business can now be accomplished with Oscar's partnership?
Well, we're going to talk, Oscar and I are going to talk later this week, but certainly one of them that comes to mind is one that every fight fan wants to see, and that's middleweight champion Miguel Cotto against Canelo Alvarez.
I agree. Everybody wants to see that fight. One large obstacle, Oscar, is that Al Heyman advises or manages a huge percentage of the fighters who appear under Golden Boy Promotions. And there's abundant recent evidence that his advice is preventing a lot of desirable matchups from happening. How can you generate the kind of persuasion that is necessary to get Heyman's fighters to take big fights?
Under my helm, my leadership at Golden Boy Promotions, a lot has changed. The fact that I was a fighter for many years, I understand what the consumer desires. I understand what the fans are looking for, and they're looking for the best fights possible. I have talked to Al Heyman about various possibilities, various fights that we can make, and he has expressed a lot of interest. One thing, Jim, about me is that I want to satisfy the consumer. That's the bottom line, because the fans deserve the very best, and this is not easy to put together. This relationship between Bob and I is not an easy one where we can just make fights happen. The great thing about this relationship is that we already started the dialogue. The door is wide open to do some business in the near future. So this will take time, but I can assure you, to all the fans out there, that we will make this happen.
Oscar and Bob, thank you both very much for your time.
Pleasure to be here, and I'm looking forward to talking to you, Oscar, later in the week.